you were on a bus.
Yeah, when I first started
in Canada. Yeah.
Yeah, in Canada, we would travel all over in, like a rock and roll tour bus, and travel to different venues, spend a couple of nights, then move on to the next one. And we're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, literally up in the mountains someplace. And everybody would sleep. They'd have their little comfy little barrows in there. And
yes.
So the driver stopped to get gas, get a cup of coffee. I don't even really know. I don't remember. And I'm like, got to go to the bathroom. And we all know a bus or a plane, not the best place.
No.
Well, I'm like, I'm just going to sneak off. I'm just going to go. And before he gets back, I'll jump back on the bus. And lo and behold, I go in, do my stuff, and come back out. The bus is gone.
Oh, my God. You're stranded in Canada.
I'm stranded in Canada. And keep in mind, before cell phones, I didn't have a wallet, didn't have anything. I'm in like sweatpants and a T-shirt. And I'm like, and it was that thing, I'm looking around going, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Payphone, I guess, at that point? Like,
who would I call?
Payphone?
No, I had no, I didn't have the itinerary. I didn't have anything with me. And I'm going, oh man, I'm looking around in that daze of confusion, which I can imagine what I looked like, of like, everybody's going, getting their coffee, running in and out. People are eating, and I'm just sitting there. And it was a film. You would just see this. It would just be spinning around me. Going, what am I going to do? My brain's firing, going, oh man, what now? So I'm standing there, and there's a young lady, and God bless you. If you remember the story, if you ever hear this, I want to say thank you. So I guess she's there with her daughter. She's taking her daughter to school, and she looks up at me, and she goes, "Are you all right?" And I'm embarrassed. And yeah, I was on a bus, and the bus left me. And then I started talking to her, and when we were traveling with these guys, I mean, you were kind of like a rock star. Everybody knew. I mean, this is back in the 80s, and I guess she was aware that, we were in town. And I mean, I guess it made her day. She smiled, and I smiled back at her. I'm like, oh, thank God. She's like, oh, if you want, we'll jump in my car and we'll see if we can catch up to the bus. I'm like, okay.
Wow, that was really, it's true what they say about Canadians. It's true.
And I'm going, maybe she's going to kidnap me.
Maybe. That could also happen in Canada.
No. But anyway, prior to that, I'm like, let me call 911 or the Mounties or whatever it is. And I call, and the lady on the phone's like, what? Who are you? Trying to explain that story is just, when I think about it now, it sounds ridiculous. I mean, it really, it's crazy.
I guess, yeah, it's like, what would 911 do? Like,
big blue rock and roll bus that you can't miss. And I told them where we were, and we were heading in this direction. And I'm like, wow, looking back on it now, it's just bizarro land.
Yeah.
So I call, I leave I tell them what the deal is, and I'm driving with the sweet lady. We're just talking about everything, talking to her little daughter, or just normal conversation. So 45 minutes into it, I see the bus. I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. There it is. Beeping the horn, flag him down. She gets out, and give her a big hug. I'm like, thank you so much. And everyone's like, looking at me like I'm a complete idiot, laughing, joking. It was just one of those moments. And then, we continue on. 2.5 hours later, give or take, all of a sudden, you see in the rear view mirror, the lights come on. They finally caught the bus. And then those guys show up, and Yeah, it's this guy. He got off the bus and we left him. It was one of those things that, and to this day, I still remember it because it was that feeling of just shit. What am I going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
That is scary. I mean, either how far does the bus get before they realize you're missing? Are they in the next country?
That's a good question. I try and think of that. I don't think they realized that I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Until we pulled up behind him and we were beeping the horn. They never noticed because everybody's sleeping.
Yeah, they're sleeping. They're hungover. Probably it's the rock stars, right? So like they're not sure where they are right now. They're not keeping track of who's there.
I mean, you'd finish where we are. We check out of the hotel. We grab all of our stuff, jump on the bus. Everybody would just go to bed, and we would drive. We would drive all night.
Yeah,
and we show up. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock to the next venue. We check into the hotel. We'd have a rehearsal. Then, we would go on and perform. And depending on how many nights we were there, I mean, sometimes we were in a place for just, one evening and then jump on the bus again. I was the MC and, I would come out, introduce everybody. There's scripted dialogue. And I had the brilliant idea that I wanted to be able to try and do it in French. And, I learned it phonetically.
Oh, yes.
It was so cool. I got somebody I gave him the script and I'm like, can you put this into a recorder for me? And just over time, I listened and listened. And I remember the first time getting up there and I'm trying to speak another language in front of, 3,000 people. And when they responded, I was like, holy shit, it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out here. Je m'appelle Doug. Je suis ici pour vous souhaiter le bienvenue au cours de cette soirée pour tout arriver. Vous allez voir in person, whatever. And then I did it in Afrikaans too. That comes